What started out as a hot and sticky afternoon and then a threat of rain mixed in becomes a beautiful early evening in Miami.
Ooh, Augustiniak. Ice on the left ankle.
Not able to enjoy the scenery in his present position.
That looks bad.
The word on McNeil, I believe, a bruised foot as he goes to the sideline. Whether or not he'll return in the fourth quarter, we don't know. On first down, they swing it out to Bruce Harper. And Harper dances, keeps his feet, and turns it into a big gain or a Jet first down inside the 35 of Miami.
Richard Todd now 11 of 16 for 157 yards. And this guy's nickname is the Midget, is Bruce Harper. All-purpose back. For his size, he really has great strength in his legs. He's just 5'8" and 177 pounds. He's a small target, but look at the extra effort. The will to win. First and 10, the New York Jets. Showing a great deal of maturity here. Not being overly impatient, just taking their time.
Long and Harper are the backs. That's Lamb Jones, number 80, setting up on the left side. From the 33 of the Dolphins, Todd drops back on first down. Completes it to Long, who sidesteps Dewey and gets down to the 25. They'll be just shy of a first down. It'll be second and a short 2 upcoming.
And I tell you, Bob, I do believe the Miami Dolphins, as you watch this play, a roll left, a little delay by Long out of the backfield 33. Todd is rolling away from the pass rush. And a good move to get around A.J. Dewey, tackled by Brzezinski. And I have a feeling right now the Dolphins need a blitz to kind of break up the rhythm of the Jets right here. They're not getting much pressure on Richard Todd. They got to do something out of the ordinary right here.
13 and a half left. The Jets are down by a touchdown. They pitch it to Harper. Harper needs 2 yards. Harper has those 2 yards.
Amazing. See him go to the ground and bounce right back up without taking about a split second. Terrific back that kid is.
Tampa Bay now with the lead over Detroit, 14-10 in the third quarter. And you figure the Buccaneers, I can't decide if they're a bad ball club or a fairly good team about to become better.
I think that applies to most teams in the NFC Central.
Harper got the first down. There are Todd's numbers. Almost all that yardage accumulated during the first half. Harper, they don't buy his act this time. Doug Better's waxing.
The Jets are now in the situation that Walt Michaels wanted to avoid, and that is having to rely on Bruce Harper down after down after down. You'll see the backside of the play catch up with Bruce Harper. 42, Baumhauer, 73 is in there, makes him change his direction, and Betters smothers him, I think is the best way to put it.
As we mentioned earlier, this whole series, dating back to 1966, has been one of streaks. The Jets beat the Dolphins when Miami first came into the league 8 straight times. Then Miami won 14 of the next 16. Now the Jets have won 6 in a row. They lead the series overall 16-14. Todd has Harper. It's going to be first and goal for the Jets.
Totally uncovered. There was obviously a coverage breakdown there. Miscommunication or something. Nobody even close. You'll watch Harper. Now, I think the primary receiver here is Jerome Barkham, 83. He's the tight end. Runs the corner route, in which they scored a touchdown. But look at it. 7 yards between Bruce Harper and the defender. 48.
Gerald Small, who makes the tackle, with some help from Ernest Rowan, 55. Bruce Harper has been a workhorse on this drive. 11:20 remaining. The Jets are 7 yards and a point after from the possible tying touchdown as Tom Newton carries, and a flag flies behind it.
In the area of possibly offensive holding.
You got it.
Oh, my goodness.
While they walk off the penalty, let's get another update from NFL 81 in New York.
Okay, Bob, out in Anaheim, the Rams have increased their lead over the Cleveland Browns. Frank Corral, a 38-yard field goal. Rams now lead at 24-10 in the fourth quarter. Let's go back to Bob Costas and Bob Trumpy.
Thank you, Byron. Georgia will be much happier with Ray and Pat and the boys this week. Miami leads it by 7, and their chance of maintaining that edge has just been greatly increased as the Jets are pushed back to the 17. where it is first and goal. Ooh. Tom Newton caught it and paid for it with A.J. Dewey delivering his calling card.
Dewey was moved from a defensive end to a linebacker just because he couldn't maintain weight. He's not a very good coverage man, but he just is sticking to like glue on Newton, and that's a great tackle. If they've got a screen, I mean the New York Jets, now's the time to run it.
They get a couple, maybe three, to just across the 15-yard line. Second and goal from there. 10.5 minutes to play in the game. The Dolphins 21, the Jets 14. The Jets have been held scoreless in the second half. We were knotted at 14 at halftime. Todd, quick release, batted up in the air, and then caught by Walker.
I don't believe it.
Wesley Walker's got it for the touchdown.
I do
The
not
Jets are
believe
a
it.
point away from the tie.
That looked like a jump ball out there, Bob. First of all, the ball should not have been thrown, but that's the second touchdown that Richard Todd has accounted for on a ball that should not have been thrown, and Walker caught the other one. Watch this one. This ball looks around as opposed to pointed. It's not supposed to make bounces like this. Pressure up front. Betters. Now watch. 1, 2, and it's up for a jump ball. Touchdown. 6 points, just the way we draw it up. Thank you very much.
Pat Leahy tries to tie it, and does. Well, Blackwood, who earlier had an interception, touched that one. Ed Taylor touched it, and ultimately it winds up in the hands of Wesley Walker, who now has caught 4, 2 of them for touchdowns. This game is tied at 21 with 10:18 left.
I love it.
I could ride to this music all day.
You and these Energizers just keep on going.
The Energizer is ever ready at its powerful best. Of all leading brands, nothing outlasts the Energizer. Nothing outsnaps it. Nothing outadds, outwalks, outplays, outtapes, outshines, outdoes it. Nothing.
The Energizer even outlasted Big Strong Charlie.
Long life.
Energize me.
Behind every Schlitz is a man who knows his beer.
Down here in Texas, people know a good beer. Many choose to taste of my Schlitz. Just one glass will tell a lot of beer drinkers what I've known all along. You just can't buy a better tasting beer than Schlitz.
What do I really think? I think Schlitz tastes better than Miller. Schlitz tastes really smooth.
Mr. Sellinger, your Schlitz tastes good. It really does.
I'm glad you like it.
Behind every Schlitz is a man who knows his beer.
On and off the field, he was the only white at an all-black college.
Oh, yeah, you're going to have a good time.
Scrambling's White Tiger, a world premiere Sunday on NBC.
Some business to take care of here. This telecast is presented by authority of the NFL, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Miami Dolphins and the NFL is prohibited. Ball goes off the tee, and Leahy will have to try again. Wesley Walker, in the last 3 years now, against the Dolphins, has caught 26 passes, a half dozen of them for touchdowns.
Not a bad percentage. Todd now 14 of 19, 179 yards, and I believe that's 3 touchdowns on the day.
Fulton Walker retreats midway to the end zone and decides that he will down it for the touchback. Dolphin ball at the 20 with 10-11 left in this tie ball game. Let's get an update from New York and Byron Day.
Okay, Bob, out in San Diego, Seattle once again had first and goal, but had to settle for this 20-yard Efren Herrera field goal. Seattle narrows the lead to 17-10. Chargers still on top in the fourth.
Okay, thanks, Byron. Well, in Pittsburgh last week, Trump, we went to overtime before the Steelers eventually subdued the Patriots. We still got 10-11 left, but overtime's a possibility here as well.
I like games like this, too. 2 very good teams, and they're fighting tooth and nail out there to get in the end zone.
The pitch goes to Tommy Vigorito on first down, and Vigorito is only back to the line of scrimmage, bounced by Greg Buttle, number 51. We mentioned Richard Todd's 9 touchdown passes for the season. They've come in groups of 3. He threw for 3 against Cincinnati, for 3 against Houston, and he's got the hat trick here against the Dolphins, too.
And I'll tell you what, 2 of the touchdowns he's thrown today were miraculous catches, and probably when he watches the film, he's going to be chuckling because they should not have been thrown. He threw through more traffic than you can find at 5th Avenue and 52nd Street.
Bruce Harper was a key man on this drive, which consumed almost 6 minutes, and ended with the Todd to Walker touchdown pass, which ties the game at 21.
Blitz New York Jets.
Don Strock is going to lob one out, and it's incomplete. He tried to cross them up by lobbing it out to Harris, but Jackson wasn't fooled, and he was with him step for step. Now it's 3rd and 10. And after allowing the Jets to keep the ball for 6 minutes and go 66 yards, the last thing the Dolphin offense wants to do is give the ball up on 3 quick plays and put that defense right back out on the field.
Excellent point. You are 1,000% correct. They need a first down here just to cool off and give their defense some rest over there on the sideline.
Now let's see if the Jet defense is up to this task on 3rd and 10. Pressure on Strop. They miss him.
Oh, great catch.
It's going to be interesting to see where they spot this. They're short of the first down.
Boy, Strock really zipped that one in there. He didn't have much of a chance. He was pressured. And you'll see him put a little extra on this one.
Joe Rose, the 3rd-string tight end, makes the catch, and he is just shy of the 30, which is where they had to go. It's 4th and less than a yard, and Orris is going to punt.
And you can't fault Don Strock for that throw in a situation where there's a defensive back running alongside the tight end. You got to throw the ball low so there's no interception. He's just 30 yards from your end zone, so you got to throw the ball low.
Well, the Jet defense, which had yielded 100 points through their first 3 games, all losses, held Houston to 17 a week ago. Miami has nailed them with 21 thus far today. The game tied, and the Jets with a chance to get it back. Wobbly punt by Orris. Going to be good field position. Ken Schroy runs up to grab it. A reception committee waiting for him, but just a 31-yard kick by Orris against the wind. So here's the situation. Tied at 21. Jet ball at their 43 with 8:21 remaining, and we're coming right back.
Everywhere I go, people ask me, Arnie, is that old tractor you drove in the Pennzoil commercial still running? Still running? We use it here at Latrobe every day. And with Pennzoil protecting the engine, there are a lot more miles left in it. You know, this old tractor and I are a lot alike. We're both still using Pennzoil, and we're both still running.
Gas-saving Pennzoil. Quality in every extra mile.
In Japan, people demand a lot from a 35mm camera. That's why thousands of Japanese have gone beyond ordinary automatic.
Follow the bouncing ball next Sunday on NBC Sports.
Here's number 40 on the catch of the punt, and you have to admire his exceptional fortitude. He takes the place right here as he just about gets on the ground, 52 feet below the line. He often plays one over. First and 10 of New York Jets at their own 44. 8:21 remaining regulation. Dolphins trying to break the Jets hit off 6 straight times and also stay undefeated. Miami comes in at 4-0. Harper catches the pass, does advance, and is down at the 45 after a gain of 1. Tom, you know, it's interesting. The Miami Dolphins bring Kim Bokamper in obvious passing situations to get his pass rush. What the New York Jets are doing is they're throwing the ball on the first down because Miami has Vern Denherter in there, and he's not a great pass rusher. So basically, Miami's trying to get to Richard Todd with 2 defensive linemen, and so far it's worked very well today.
Todd, 15 of 20 for 182.
Now Bokamper into the ball game on an obvious passing situation. 2nd and 9. Denver shutting out Oakland.
Second time they have beaten the Raiders this year. 17-zip is the final. That's Bobby Jones in motion. He caught a long one in the first half. They give the ball to Harper. Harper, who suddenly has become a workhorse, pounds out to the 49-yard line. It'll be 3rd and about 5 upcoming, but first let's check with Byron Day in New York. Byron?
Bob, in Anaheim, the Rams have moved well out in front of the Cleveland Browns on this 41-yard Frank Corral field goal. It's now 27-10 with 6.5 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Bob?
Thanks, Byron. As we mentioned, that Denver victory over Oakland, the Broncos are now 4-1. Their only loss was in Seattle to the Seahawks. The Raiders are off to a 2-3 start, but if memory serves me correctly, they were 2-3 after 5 games last year and went on to win it all. Third down in the long 4. Todd unloads. He's got his man, Wesley Walker. Oh, man, Don Shula's going to be seeing this guy in nightmares tonight.
I'll tell you what, if I were Don Shula, we got holding the New York Jets. Absolutely amazing. But still, I'll say it, if I were Don Shula, I'd trade a high draft choice for Wesley Walker. He's beaten him single-handedly on 6 straight times. I'd keep that guy in Miami.
Or at least someplace where he couldn't hurt you.
Holding number 7. Mr. Ward, Rick Ward, I give a high draft choice just to get out of the league, but I want to fire him for myself. In this game, I think that's now 5 penalties on the New York Jets twice they have spoiled. Great receptions and long runs for their offense. There's the sorry story of all penalty matches in the season, and despite that, they're able to make it 6:42 remaining. They're down at 15 yards to go. With 9-21. Todd, scrambling, gets away from one. Throws on the run. Complete. Bobby Combs to Bucket. Out of the back. Good choice by Todd. He is 13 yards there. He's not going to run for it. He's trying to set up a pass to see the game up almost did. And once again,
Chuck Ramsey now will punt for the 4th time. As you can see, his figures are nothing to be embarrassed about thus far. He was averaging 41.5 prior to today. Fulton Walker is waiting back deep near the 15-yard line of Miami. No pressure at all. Ramsey with the wind at his back, a high spiral, which Walker fields inside the 10-yard line and lunges to about the 20. A flag went down. I don't know if that flag was accidentally dropped or if there is a penalty. A 42-yard punt by Ramsey.
we've got a penalty. Tell you what, I'm watching Duff Better 75 and Bob Babenhauer 73. Illegal use of the hands, Miami. On the sideline on the Miami Dolphins bench, really sucking on the oxygen. They are worn out. The Dolphins need to give that defense a rest now for a while. They've been on the field an awful lot in the second half.
The flag wasn't so much thrown as it was daintily dropped. I thought for a moment it might just have slipped out of somebody's pocket. Throughout the second half, we had no contact with Dick Jorgensen, the referee. His microphone has been cut off. The ball is pushed back to the 10-yard line. That's where Miami will have it, tied at 21 with 6:25 remaining.
Why is our copier smarter than theirs? Compare the Savin 883 on my left with the Xerox 4000 on my right. You'll find that only one has a microprocessor and an electronic brain that can transform an unclear original into a clear copy. Only one has a fully automatic document feed, and only one has an energy-saving automatic shutoff. On all these points, one copier outsmarts the other. The Savin.
Can an American driving machine outdistance every Datsun on the highway? If we put a gallon of gas in every Datsun and a gallon in the 1982 Dodge Omnimizer, here's what would happen. One by one, every Datsun would run out. But Omnimizer would keep driving, on and on, because Omnimizer has the highest highway mileage of any 5-passenger American car, and the lowest price. And at $54.99, the 82 Dodge Omnimizer doesn't cost $1 more this year than it cost at the end of last year.
This is Byron Day in New York. Out in San Diego, Dan Fouts has just thrown his 12th touchdown of the year to Charlie Joyner, his second reception of the day. San Diego well out ahead, 24-10, 4 minutes left in the fourth. Bob?
Well, the moon has not yet appeared over Miami, but the sun is setting behind the Orange Bowl, where more than 70,000 fans, hoping that the Dolphins can go 5-0, have watched the Jets give them all they could ask for and more. And as we noted early on in this ball game, it makes no difference what kind of year either club is having. The Jets give the Dolphins fits. from inside the 10, Don Strock, who has been here since late in the first quarter with David Woodley hurt. Swings it out to Vigorito. Vigorito gets 5 or 6 and is bumped out by Bobby Jackson.
Okay, it now appears that the Dolphins are going to go back to their original game plan. Just chink it here, chink it there. Not try to get it in too big a bunch. They got 6:19 left to go. They've got all 3 timeouts, and Strock is having, as you can see, a marvelous day.
A pensive Don Shula. A tongue lashing, many of them have been administered along that Dolphins sideline to various offenders today. 2nd down and 4 coming up. Strock with a short drop in the same play. Vigorito, he's got a 1st down and tacks additional yardage onto it. The clock stops at 6:12 as he's shoved out.
Some of the people who play for the Miami Dolphins belie their age. Vigorito is a 5th-round draft choice out of Virginia. Not a very much talked about athlete. A decent receiver, a good presence. Strock, of course, a veteran quarterback. That is a big, big 1st down. The understatement of the quarter so far.
The ball is at the 27 of Miami. We were tied at 14 at halftime. Each team has scored once since intermission. Vigorito for 3 out to the 30. Abdul Salam belts him down.
You know, Bob, to our knowledge, there's nothing wrong with Andre Franklin. And yet he really hasn't carried the ball an awful lot in the second half. Last week, he was their big gun. Carried the ball very, very well for them. He had 20 carries and 76 yards. Now he's a blocking back for Tommy Vigorito.
Well, Franklin has scored twice today.
Blitz situation for the New York Jets.
Jets have Johnny Lynn in as the nickelback. Strock pumps one out long. He's got a man open. Oh. Diving catch by Matt Moore. Another miraculous catch.
Tell you what, there are no words to describe that catch. He's caught 4 passes today, and all 4 of them have been when he's thrown. And that now puts him over 5,000 yards. 14 catches. Oh, excuse me. Strock is 14 to 21, 245 yards. Look at that catch. My goodness, I'll bet Nat Moore has averaged somewhere close to 40 yards a catch. Wow.
Right about there. As a matter of fact, that 5 for 143, I think, is incorrect. He's got more than that now. On 1st down, they move inside the 25, picking up 3. He's got 190 yards in receptions thus far. We'll come back with a 2nd down play right after we check with New York.
Okay, Bob, excitement there, excitement in Anaheim. Brian Sipe hooking up with Ozzie Newsome, a 38-yard touchdown pass. L.A. now leads the Browns 27-16, 3:37 left to go in the 4th quarter. Bob?
Thanks, Byron.
Nat Moore, 6 catches, 190 yards, and I think that's his all-time best performance.
If it is, and it should be, I can't imagine a better day. Strock pumps once, then goes long for more. There he is, touchdown!
Catches now for Nat Moore, 202 yards, and he came into the ball game, ladies and gentlemen, with just 5 receptions on the day. On the year, no touchdowns. That's his 3rd touchdown catch of the day, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, that's his 2nd touchdown catch, and Franklin has run for 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Now Von Schamann will try and add the 28th point, and it's there. The Jets have a 7-point deficit and 70,000 roaring fans against them right now. 3 minutes and 59 seconds to go, and we'll come back to the Orange Bowl right after this.
Behind every six is a man who knows his beer.
Schlitz is downright good. I think it's even better than Miller.
I'm from Germany. I do think I know a bit about beer, and this is really good beer.
Hey, I'm loyal to my bud, but I think Schlitz beat it out.
I like the taste of Schlitz. It's as simple as that.
In 40 years as a master brewer, this Schlitz is my smoothest. Have you tasted my Schlitz?
Behind every Schlitz is a man who knows his beer.
You've read about it, you've heard about it. But until now, you've never had a better chance to own it. It's the RCA Video Disc Player. The remarkable machine that plays records of movies, concerts, and more on your TV. And to help you be one of the first to own one, RCA is offering a $50 introductory bonus. Buy one now and you'll get $50 direct from RCA. What's more, a special 10-day money-back offer is available at selected RCA dealers. But hurry, you may never have a better chance.
Next Saturday, don't miss the exciting return of NBC Sports World, featuring hard-hitting World Championship boxing. Then, 1 week later, the world's finest Grand Prix drivers gather in the heart of Las Vegas for live coverage of the Caesars Palace Grand Prix, starting next Saturday on NBC.
Von Schamann to kick off. The orange ball is jumping with just under 4 minutes remaining. 28-21, the Dolphins lead it. Kurt Sohn is deep along with Bobby Jones, and Sohn takes it at about the 5. Kurt Sohn out across the 20-yard line, and these Dolphin fans are roaring on every play. The official numbers now on Nat Moore: 7 receptions, a Dolphin record 210 yards. No Dolphin has ever gone over 200 yards before on pass receptions. 2 of his catches for scores, and he's averaging 30 yards per reception. Here's the last TD.
And all catches but one, he's been diving, jumping, acrobatic, and they have just absolutely beat up the 2 quarterbacks of the New York Jets, Donald Dykes, Bobby Jackson, and the guy that replaced him, Jerry Holmes.
Well, right now, Don Struck is the Dolphin pitcher of record. He stands to get the victory in relief. Harper in motion out of the backfield. Todd rolling left. And hitting Harper, who then drops it. Harper at 5'8" had to go up to grab it, but he should have held it.
Don Struck, 16 of 21. 14 of 21. 245 yards on the day. Wow. As you said, in relief.
Woodley took an injury to the midsection. Rib cage area, the back, lower back, late in the first quarter. Strock came in, and one could not say that the Dolphins have suffered as a result. On 2nd and 10, this one is complete, and Wesley Walker skips out of bounds.
Yeah, Bob, I fully expect the New York Jets to come back and tie this game. With the weapons they have in Wesley Walker and Derek Gaffney and Bruce Harper, this game is a long way from over. 3:37.
Let's pause briefly for station identification on the NBC television network.
This is WNBC-TV, New York.
Well, if they're going to come back, they need 4 yards on this play. And let's jump ahead a bit. If they throw incomplete here, I guess you got to punt it away.
Absolutely.
You got to punt it away. You got all your timeouts left, plus the 2-minute warning. So they're in a 1-down and not a 2-down situation here. Todd with plenty of time. There's the first down. Harper makes the catch, and he's across the 35.
And he was double covered, too, right on the inside. Kozlowski, the nickel or dime back on the outside. Man-on-man coverage. Just shows the talent of that little guy. Todd waits for him. Beaucamp on the blitz. Almost gets his hand in there. And he struggles for first down yardage over the 35. Big play. Now 3:10 to play.
When they have Betters, Baumhauer, and Beaucamp in there across the front together, they call them the Killer Bees here in Miami. Betters, Baumhauer, and Beaucamp. Dolphins having some trouble getting set defensively. For a moment, they had too many men on the field. 2:55 remaining as Todd takes the snap and finds his receiver. Walker makes the catch along the sideline. The clock continues to move, but they're out near midfield at the Jet 49, and it's another first down.
No reason to take time out. Just don't panic. Don't panic. I have a feeling that the Miami Dolphins defensive backs are going to give a wide berth to one Wesley Walker. You can go 12 and 15 yards at a time almost any time you want.
A reminder that the Flintstones will be seen immediately following the conclusion of NBC football coverage over most of these stations, except those in the Mountain and Pacific time zones where it will be seen at its regular time. That's assuming we don't go to overtime here. Harper carries, and Harper busts into Dolphin territory. And we'll get the 2-minute warning before the next snap.
I think they should take a timeout.
Evidently, Walt Michaels doesn't agree.
Well, I think they should take a timeout, then they run another play, and then the clock stops the 2-minute warning. You may get one more play off in this drive.
The 2-minute warning during many NFL games this fall. We're going to be treated to some of the most exciting finales from NFL history. They're called fantastic finishes, and here's one of them. Take a timeout, you might as well take it as soon as the whistle blows. And evidently they had no intention of doing it at all.
They wasted 10 seconds there.
Todd firing long. I don't believe it.
Oh,
it happened again. Bobby Jones pulls it down. Bobby Jones has brought them within a point. And that is the third miracle touchdown reception for the Jets. 2 of them by Walker and 1 by Jones. To those of you who have been following the Cleveland Brown Los Angeles Ram game. This is Bob Costas along with Bob Trumpy, and seconds ago we got this play. Richard Todd, a miracle touchdown pass in the direction of Bobby Jones. He splits 2 defenders. He goes up to pull it down. We're a Pat Leahy extra point away from a tie at 28 with 1:09 remaining. We are staring overtime in the face. Ramsey holds, Leahy kicks. This game is tied. There's a flag down. Let's wait and see.
Richard Todd on the day, 21 of 28, 258 yards, and 3 touchdowns. 4 touchdowns, excuse me. 4 touchdowns.
He's thrown for 4 touchdowns. 3 of them have been miracles. The one to Jerome Barkham, the first one, was pretty legit. The other 3 were strictly throw up a prayer and have it answered.
In fact, your 3 touchdowns that the Jets have scored have all been in double coverage. One, the ball bounced off the receiver. The other one, I don't know how they caught it. And this one, this is Jones. Lamb Jones is their big receiver. Bobby Jones is not supposed to be able to do that. That's his second catch on the day, 71 yards and 6 points between Bessalou and Blackwood.
For those of you who are just joining us, what an aerial show you have missed. David Woodley went out early when he injured his lower back late in the first quarter. The Dolphins starter, Don Strock, has come in, and what a job he has done. His main target has been Matt Moore. Moore has caught 7 passes for 210 yards and 2 touchdowns for the Dolphins. Rookie Andre Franklin has also run 2 one-yard runs for scores. For the Jets, Richard Todd has thrown 4 touchdown passes. He hit Barkham and Wesley Walker in the first half. He has hit Walker again and now Bobby Jones in the second half. Only moments ago, Moore made a great diving catch for the go-ahead touchdown for Miami. The Jets marched right back and concluded it with that catch by Bobby Jones, and the extra point by Leahy ties it at 28.
And to put this game in perspective, the last 6 times these 2 teams have played, the New York Jets have won. And the Miami Dolphins have a 29-13 composite record against the rest of the NFL.
The Jets are 1-3. The Dolphins are 4-0. The kick by Leahy sends Walker back deep into the end zone, and Fulton Walker kneels for the touchdown. Again, that final score from Los Angeles. The Rams go 3-2 on the season and dump the Browns to 2-3. The final score is LA 27 and Cleveland 16.
2 great performances by quarterbacks today. One in relief, Don Strock, as Mr. Costas told you, Woodley out with a chest injury or a lower back injury. He's accounted for 266 yards worth of passing. Todd, 258.
In addition to the yardage and all the completions, if you haven't been with us, you have missed some of the greatest catches of the 1981 NFL season. Diving, leaping, tumbling, incredible. Duriel Harris has made a few, Walker has made a few, but mostly it's been Matt Moore.
Matt Moore averaged, what did you say, 30 yards a catch on 7 receptions?
That's right. A Dolphin record, 210 yards in reception. They go with a draw, and they give it to Nick Giaquinto, and Giaquinto, the second-year man from Connecticut, gets 20 yards on the carry.
my goodness. You know what, Bob? I would hate to see this football game end on a field goal. I mean, the way the game has been played all day, it should be a long pass reception. Good movement by Giaquinto.
The Dolphins take a timeout with 59 seconds left.
Why have over 1 million people replace their brakes at Midas? Was it because they know Midas has brake mechanics that are specially trained? Was it because they know Midas has the right brake parts in stock? Or was it because they know Midas has over 20 years' experience under the car? Well, whatever the reason, it certainly was no accident. Get the Midas touch. Nobody else has it.
Brian Gumble in New York with a couple of highlights from the day's earlier action. New England Patriots finally got one up in the W column. They beat the Kansas City Chiefs in Foxborough. Final net ball game 33-17. This is the one the Pats scored and never had it after this. Score tied 7-7, 4th and 1. Matt Cavanaugh bootlegs it around the right side. 8 yards he goes for a touchdown. The Patriots finally get it up 33-17. The Chiefs come up a loser. They're 3-2. Let's go back to Bob Costas and Bob Trumpy. They're in the Orange Bowl. Dolphins and Jets all tied at 28.
Nice, Brian. Out to the right side, Dorial Harris. Out to the left is Matt Moore. Don Strock flips one over the middle of Tommy Vigorito. The rookie is trying to get to the sidelines, and he won't. He's brought down at the line of scrimmage. No gain at all. Jerry Holmes made a very important defensive play.
He lost yardage and did not get out of bounds, and I noticed the Jets are now in the 3-4 defense. Less pass rush, more gentlemen in coverage.
Clock still running. Down to 35 as Strock takes the snap. It's complete, and let's see if they call a timeout. They'll have 3rd and 2 coming up. Vigorito made the catch, and the clock is stopped with 31 seconds left, and now Miami can stop it only once more.
We set this game up, Bob, as confrontation with two defensive lines who in their previous weeks had sacked the quarterback a great deal, but it hasn't happened. The Jets have sacked Strock once, and the same is true for the Dolphins.
Okay, let's continue. Our look at early action while we get in for the timeout. Buffalo wins today on the Colts. Colts now on 4th straight. The final 23-17. Charlie Day, Joe Chris, got 157 yards rushing. In St. Louis, the Cardinals up to the Cowboys. And Neil O'Donoghue field goal with 23 seconds left from 37 yards out. This was a big play of the game. Jim Hart, Roy Reed, the light break catches. Put that with a crack walk. Out of Washington, Bill Walsh on the 49ers move. 3-2 on the play game part of 2. Defensive touchdown 30 by White. One up for a spectacular variety. Ball pop 6 to 80 yards the other way. And 49ers off the winner on the Redskins 30-17. That's enough for now. Let's go back to the Orange Bowl in Miami. Okay, thank you, Brian. Back to the back. Pass from Jim Hart to Roy Reed. One off the side. He is triple threat. Take the turn hands defensive back and now wide receiver. The football back to the St. Louis. Tampa Bay. Not dropping back on 3rd down 82. Not going to go right. He throws on the wall. And it's out of the air. It's out of the air. Now we can get down with 22 seconds. If you look at it, the Jets have 3 timeouts after the answer to that question. So very quickly, we're on to the defending Tom Wallace. The punt and the big down.
And hope for a good step, too. If I'm Walt Michaels and the New York Jets, why not? Let's try to block it. Send 11 guys.
Ken Troy is now walking back as a deep man, but the last thing they want to risk is handling this ball and fumbling it deep in their own territory to give Von Schaman a chip shot for a game winner.
Although they are setting up for a return as opposed to trying to block the punt.
They got to be careful, Trump. If it's a wobbler, if it's tough to handle, you let it go, I think.
Good snap.
Orris, the rookie from Ohio State. Troy will just let it bounce. And will they rule it down? They will rule it down at the 1-yard line.
Makes no difference, though. What good does it do you? You're going to go 99 yards for a touchdown in 10 seconds? I would have tried for to rush the punter. I mean, so what if they get a penalty? It gives you 15 yards, it gives you another play, but they got 10 seconds left. They needed at least 35 yards to kick a field goal. They're against the wind in this situation. Well,
a 51-yard punt by Orris. Now, the last thing the Jets want to risk here, if they keep it on the ground, is to run wide or even go off tackle, where the handoff has to be made behind the goal line because the safety would be an incredible way to lose.
You are absolutely correct.
Bob Costas and Bob Trumpet at the Orange Bowl in Miami. Another great day of NFL football on NBC winds up apparently with overtime.
Here's a question for you. Will the Dolphins call timeout after this play, regardless of how much yardage is gained?
Miami has one remaining. Well, there's no safety, and Kevin Long gets out to the 10-yard line.
And they will not call timeout. We've got overtime. 2 weeks in a row.
Mr. Trumpy, for the second week in a row. We were at Three Rivers last week. New England with a miracle comeback tie for Steelers. Pittsburgh prevailed in overtime. This time the Jets came back. And Miami goes to overtime with them. We're coming right back.
When we at Craco build a car stereo, we never know who's going to be in the driver's seat. So every Craco car stereo is tested to meet the toughest quality standards. And that means you can be sure that your Craco car stereo will perform, no matter what your listening habits are. Down the road, you'll be glad. It's a Craco.
But off the field, I want to feel nice and dry, and I want to smell nice. That's why I use Speed Stick Super Dry Antiperspirant. It's the white stick. Effective protection with more dryness to help fight wetness. And it goes on dry so you can get dressed right away. So get on the stick. The wide stick. Speed Stick Super Dry Antiperspirant. Dry.
Well, middle right, right out the middle of the field. The huddle gets going to the referee. Will toss it up. Bob Kuchenberg, among the captains of Miami. Joe Flacco is the captain for the Jets. The Jets have the right to call it. And now suddenly fans are spinning out of the stands and all over the field. And a horde of policemen go up.
That's cute.
The Jets have won the toss. They have the right to call it as the visitors. They elect to receive. There'll be a short rest period, and then the Dolphins will kick it off, and we'll be back after this word from your local station.
Chips season premiere. The stunt is suicide. The stunt man is John.
John, you can't, man. It's insane.
Then a world premiere portrays the first white to play football for an all-black college. Grambling's White Tiger. Right after the Chips season premiere, Sunday on NBC.
Flyers, Braniff strikes back against the high cost of flying by giving you a choice. First, new Braniff Express. It's all one class, with every seat a low discount fare, some days even lower. Then, for our full-service passengers, there's Braniff Premier. Full-service coach and expanded first class. This is Braniff at its best. Braniff strikes back with new Premier and low-cost Express. The choice is yours.
Germany, home of Volkswagen. What's a Mazda GLC doing here? Making a point about outstanding value in an economy car. Because while the sophisticated GLC offers the performance, economy, and versatility you expect in a front-wheel drive economy car, it offers it at a price you most certainly don't expect. The more you look at some of the finest economy cars in the world, the more you like the 1982 Mazda GLC.
The most famous German word in the English language is Beck's.
Beck's, the #1 imported German beer.
Dear Abby, tomorrow on Live at 5.
Well, the worst of it is evidently over, but the gendarmes have had to quell a disturbance in the stands, and we have seen, quite frankly, more and more of this around the country. As a matter of fact, in our pregame baseball program yesterday on NBC, before you saw 3 different division clinchings on NBC Sports, we focused on violence in the stands, specifically relating to baseball, but other sports are not exempt. And what should be, and has been by and large, a wonderful afternoon and early evening of sports watching for more than 70,000 at the Orange Bowl is marred by a senseless scene like this one.
Stupid fools don't even get to see the end of a great football game. That's how dumb they are. They ought to give people IQ tests for to let them in a stadium. You want to hear something absolutely amazing for this game? Strock 17 of 26, 274 yards, and 3 touchdowns for Miami. Nat Moore, 7 catches, 210 yards, 2 touchdowns. Richard Todd for the Jets, 4 touchdowns, 21 of 28, 258 yards. Wesley Walker, 2 touchdowns, 7 catches, 106 yards.
Here we go in sudden death. Uwe von Schamann kicks it off, and did he ever get into it? Kurt Sohn in the back of the end zone says, I'll just stay right here, and the Jets will be 80 yards away. Here's the situation. We have an overtime period, 15 minutes. As soon as somebody scores, touchdown, field goal, safety, it's over. If nobody can score in 15 minutes, which has rarely happened since the NFL went to regular season overtime, but if that should happen, the game will go into the books as a tie. This is the source of some controversy, Trump. A lot of fans and people in the media think that each team should have at least one possession in overtime. They think that if the team that receives the overtime kickoff scores, the other club should at least get one possession to try and come back. But that's not the way it works. As soon as somebody scores, this game is over. Bruce Harper carries. Barely a yard. Because of the length of this football game, the Flintstones will not be seen tonight. Let me briefly summarize what you missed. Bam Bam hit Pebbles on the head with a club. Wilma and Betty were upset. However, Barney was placated by Fred, who took them to the Bedrock Bowl for some dino burgers.
I'm heartbroken. Absolutely heartbroken.
Minutes and 20 seconds remaining in overtime. 2nd down and 9 for the Jets. Todd has it batted down by Bocamper. Hit Bocamper, number 58.
He went to the well once too often. He's done that several times today. And of course, the New York Jets right now are playing without Freeman McNeil, without Augustiniak. So they're playing with Harper, and they have Newton. And so they're missing a couple of great running backs. As I say, watch Todd. He goes to the well once too often. He's done this all day long. Bocamper at 6'5 and a half. Almost makes the sterling play of the afternoon. 3rd down now and 9 and a half.
The drama couldn't be much heavier at the Orange Bowl. Third down 9. Todd looking. Todd in trouble. Todd pumping and firing. They've got the first down as Derek Gaffney makes the catch across the 30.
12 yards on the catch. Great job by Gaffney and all the New York Jets receivers. He had several guys to choose from. Todd, presence of mind to get it once he's flushed out of the pocket, to keep looking downfield. Look at the pressure. Baumhauer, 73, coming to the outside. Alexander does a great job along with Fields. And it takes some guts to throw the ball back in the middle like that in an overtime situation, Bob.
13:28 left in overtime.
Hugh Wesley Walker.
There must be a stronger win on the field. And we can get up here and lose because obviously the Jets only win after they have to. That time they had Derek Gaffney and Wesley Walker both on the same side of the field. And I would think it was an awful lot of problems for the Miami offensive defensive backs who have given up an awful lot of yards in the last 2 games for wide receivers. One other factor in overtime is we can mention each team has granted 2 timeouts. And the Eastern Conference lost twice. And that's 12 minutes and 4 seconds. Second and 10 for the third period. Carter will take the full force. Nicholson man. Harper with the cover. Where is that from? And the Dolphins will have anybody flying in this one. Well, they're going to do with the 6th defensive backfield.
They'll go with 3 defensive linemen, 2 linebackers, that's 5, and 6 defensive backs. Called it dime situation. Normally plays zone. The weakness is in the middle of that zone.
For those of you who joined us late today, after the Dallas Cowboys lost in St. Louis, the Cardinals upsetting them on a late field goal by Neil O'Donoghue, the NFL is down to just 2 undefeated teams. One is Philadelphia. The Eagles play the Falcons tomorrow night. The other is on this field, the Miami Dolphins, but they're in definite jeopardy of absorbing their first defeat at the hands of a team which has beaten them 6 straight times, the New York Jets. Todd on on third down. They're coming after him. He sidesteps one. He fires. He's got his man, but he's short of the first down. Kevin Long made the catch, but he's shoved back at the 40, and the Jets are going to have to punt.
Well, the Miami Dolphin defense has not played very well all day long. The Jets have been going up and down the field making these miraculous catches. Finally. Another thing, Ramsey has averaged like 46 yards a punt so far this afternoon. He is punting against the wind in this situation. Must make a good, clean catch if you're a Miami Dolphin punt receiver back there.
What'd you say his average was? It's better than 50, I believe.
Is it really? I thought it was
better
46.
Than 50.
Another good one.
Fulton Walker takes it in some traffic and goes virtually nowhere. No, he slips past the tackler. I don't believe this return. He was all but down and somehow stayed on his feet. 11:31 to go in overtime. Let's check with Brian Gumbel in New York.
Okay, Bob, we'll be getting right back to you. Here's some more highlights from days earlier action. The Packers beat the Giants today over New Jersey 27-14, and Johnny Jefferson in the process scored his first touchdown in a Green Bay uniform. And down in the Astrodome, the Oilers turned back the Bengals 17-10. Easily the most spectacular play of the day was turned in by the smallest man on the field, Carl Roaches. He took a Cincinnati kickoff at his own 5-yard line and took it back 95 yards for a touch. Let's go back to the Orange Bowl.
All right, thanks, Brian. A 40-yard punt by Ramsey. An incredible 17-yard return by Walker. Struck to the air on first down. A flag flies as he hits his man, Jimmy Cephalo.
That's going to be holding 68 Miami Dolphins.
Correction on the catch. It was Bruce Hardy, the tight end, number 84.
Eric Laxo on Gastineau. Good pressure. And Pleco is now number 73 from the New York Jets.
Clock stops temporarily with 11:21 to play in sudden death overtime. Each team with 2 timeouts remaining. We are tied at 28.
Both teams deserve to win this football game.
Well, in that case, an overtime tie would be justice, but I don't think it would satisfy the crowd here or our viewers. You want to see a decision of some kind in a game this exciting.
True. Unfortunately, we've been most of the day without the benefit of the official's microphone. We've had to kind of read lips. Hope you'll bear with us. Penalties now on the day. The Dolphins have 6 for 45 yards, and the Jets 5 for 30 yards.
While the clock is stopped, we'll be getting back to the Orange Bowl. Bryant Gumbel at NFL 81 Studios in New York. Here again, that return by Carl Roaches. It went for 95 yards. What really helped the Oilers was 181 yards rushing by Earl Campbell. Oilers turned back the Bengals 17-10. Another ball game affecting the AFC Central. The Pittsburgh Steelers locked horns with an old nemesis, Bum Phillips, now in charge of the Saints down under the Dome in New Orleans. Terry Bradshaw turned in 276 yards through the air. Steelers beat the Saints 20-6. Let's go back to Bob Costas.
Okay, Brian, an interesting note on the schedule. The next game for the Dolphins will be at Buffalo. That'll be a Monday night game. Now, if the Dolphins lose this game to the Jets here in overtime, they'll go into Buffalo just 1 game in front of the Bills, who won today against the Colts. However, they'd have a 2-game cushion if they can pull this one out. Next on the schedule for the Jets, at home against the New England Patriots, who broke into the win column finally today. They're 1-4. They beat Kansas City up in Foxborough. First down and 20. And Struck out to Vigorito. Dodges 1 tackle. Along the sidelines and out of bounds. A 6-yard gain. Joe Pleco, number 73, who was shaken up a moment ago, is still in the lineup now for the Jets.
Bob, in these situations in overtime, it takes an extreme individual effort by somebody out there to win the football game. Normally, these things aren't won with long, drawn-out drives. It's a dramatic pass reception. It's a great block. It's a great catch. Something along those lines that normally turns the game around so quickly.
11:14 to play in overtime.
Looks like Matt Moore has single coverage at the bottom of the screen.
They try and cross him up with the run, but Vigorito gets maybe a yard, and not much more than that as Marty Lyons wrapped him as soon as he got the handoff.
Interesting. This defensive line of the New York Jets has played an excellent game today. They've only gotten to Don Strock once, but You see Lyons, it's a trap, a short trap, but Newman, 64, turns up to help on the linebacker. Nobody hits Lyons, and he's there to make the tackle. Now third down at about 12.
Third, and let's call it 14.
Okay, let's call it that.
10:40 remaining. We're in sudden death overtime at the Orange Bowl in Miami. Tied at 28, the Jets and the Dolphins. Big play for Don Strott. He has time. He pumps one long. It's up for grabs, but it's incomplete. Holmes had the coverage on Nat Moore, and that's about the only thing thrown anywhere near Moore today that he hasn't caught.
Well, once again, it falls on the shoulders of the Jets offense and the Miami defense. You'll see the play from ground level. It'll be coming right at you. Looks like single coverage on Nat Moore, and Moore, in trying to get to the football, does make a little bump on 47. Jerry Holmes, but no penalty flag.
Tom Morris now, the rookie, will punt. Troy and Sohn are the deep men, standing between the 25 and 30 of New York. Second possession of overtime up to the Jets. Kurt Sohn grabs it and takes it at the 25-yard line with a fair catch. Here's Bryant Gumbel again.
Okay, Bob, after getting shut out last week for the first time in 15 years, the Raiders made it 2 in a row today. They lost to the Broncos by a score of 17-0 and helped the Broncos out by turning the ball over 6 times. Meanwhile, in San Diego, the Chargers rebounded from a defeat last week and handed it to the Seattle Seahawks today. Dan Fouts threw 4 touchdown passes, turned back the Hawks 24-10. Let's go back to the Orange Bowl. Bob Costas.
Well, now the whole mood changes. First, when the Dolphins have the ball, the fans here are expectant and whooping it up. Now they're holding their breath. Todd back to the air. Swings it out to Kevin Long. Long to about the 27-yard line. A gain of only a couple. We move inside 10 minutes to play in the sudden death overtime. This is the third overtime game of the year in the National Football League. The first 2 were last week. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh involved in those. They give it to Harper, second man through on the eye. And this is going to leave them with third down and a long 4 or a short 5.
Both teams, obviously, Bob, in this situation, do not want to give the ball up on a turnover. No interceptions. They're being very, very conservative in their approach to offense. Very, very conservative. That's Joe Walton along with Walt Michaels standing right there trying to somehow come up with a third down and 5 play and sustain a drive here. Close enough for a field goal by Leahy.
Walton's a guy who really caught his share of the heat the first 3 weeks of the season. New offensive coordinator for the Jets, but they came alive against the Oilers last week. And no matter what happens, their offense has more than held up their part of the deal today against the Dolphins. Bruce Harper off left tackle for what is very close to the first down.
They will measure.
Close enough to look. Clock is stopped with 8:50 to play in overtime, and both clubs still possessing both of their timeouts. They get the first down by about half the length of the football. For those of you who are just joining us, because of the length of the overtime football game at the Orange Bowl between the Dolphins and Jets, the Blitz Zone will not be seen tonight on NBC. It's the game to end. In the next few minutes or so, we're going to hear Cooler and Bobby. The Jets get the first down at the 26-yard line. Oh, Tom Newton. After a very good stop, the line of scrimmage slips through and gets the first down. Watch again. Great second effort by Newton. You keep the ground level. Wrestles it up to the trap line. It looks like 59 position by stop it.
Individual effort by Tom Newton gets the first down.
By the way, those of you who are on the West Coast watching this game, as we do have the entire country joining us now, you'll see the Flintstones and here's Boomer at their usual time.
Oh, boy.
In motion, Derek Gaffney. Newton and Harper are the backs. Bruce Harper will carry, and Harper is into Dolphin territory at the 49-yard line. Another update. Here's Bryant.
Okay, Bob, here's one more highlight from an earlier game. The Browns bowed to the Rams in Anaheim. Rams beat them 27-16. Maybe the best offensive star for the Rams in the day, Wendell Tyler. He scored twice, once in the ground, once through the air. Bob?
Thank you, Bryant. Bob Costas and Bob Trumpy at the Orange Bowl. Second down and 6 is upcoming with the ball at the 49-yard line of the Dolphins for the Jets. Walt Michaels with his hands on his knees. They give the ball to Harper. Harper stutter steps his way out of trouble and has another Jet first down. They are moving ever closer to field goal range for Pat Leahy.
Bob, coming into this football game, Bruce Harper carried the ball just 8 times in the first 4 games. Today, he's now carried it 11 times for 52 yards. This guy is only 5'8" and 177 pounds. His nickname is the Smidget. He's played like he's 6'8", 290 today.
There's Pat Leahy loosening his leg up, number 5, the veteran from St. Louis University. Leahy coming in today had made 5 out of 6 field goals, but he missed a 23-yarder earlier this afternoon. Bruce Harper is denied a gain of maybe a yard, not much more than that. We have 6 minutes and 10 seconds to play in sudden death.
Obviously, they do not want to throw the football, and Bruce Harper now very, very tired. Exceptionally tired, and they need a good, what would you say, 20 yards before Leahy's within his distance. He's got the wind against him.
Well, if they get 20 yards, then you're talking only about a 37-yard field goal. I think if they get 10 yards, it's possible. If they get 15 or more, it's likely.
You know, there may be some assistance for the New York Jets. They have a giant screen behind the goalpost to block the ball from going way back there. It may cut down some of the wind.
Second down and 9 from just inside the Dolphin 40. The play fake by Todd and a deep drop. Todd directing traffic, looking for somebody, throws all the way across the field. And the only receiver he had was Marty Lyons, number 93.
And it's incomplete. He's yelling at Bruce Harper. Bruce Harper, I think it was set up for a screen, and I don't think he got the message. There's Kevin Long, pat him on the top of the head. He didn't get the message that that was a screen. There were 3 offensive linemen sitting there on the New York Jets side of the hash marks.
While it is now a breezy night in Miami at 20 minutes to 8 o'clock, this started as a brutally warm and humid day. And now as we're in a 5th period of play, everybody on the field is dog-tired.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Here it is, 3rd down and 9 for Todd and the Jets. 5:26 to play in OT. Todd pumps once. Swings it out. The catch is made by Long. Kevin Long makes the catch. But it's nowhere near the first down. Let's watch it again.
I think you can see the weariness in some of the receivers. Just not an awful lot of life left in a lot of these players. And believe me, this heat and humidity really takes its toll.
The Jets have not played a tie game since 1967, back in the old AFL, and the last time the Dolphins played a tie game was against Denver in 1971. Got 4.5 minutes left inside this. Ramsey aims for a punt in order. It's out of bounds. Let's see where they'll punt it. Somebody has to break. 15-yard line. Here's Ryan Double. Let's see the door.
Okay, now we'll get back to the road. The first update from FC Central. The Vikings beat the Bears 24-21 in Bloomington. And Tampa Bay took the measure of the point after 34 off the final 28-10. But for those people really enjoying that ball game in the Orange Bowl late, this play typifies how it's been all day. Double tip. It lines for touchdown for the Jets. Deadlock 28 to the back top.
Ramsey has tried to kick out of bounds deep. And Dolphins turns it straight to yards and out of bounds in the air. And they make it at the 15. 4:29 left. HJ has 2 timeouts with it. John Fox.
Obviously, there are 16 football games in a season, and the final record is looking to the Super Bowl. Where they're going to do this one game, so what do we have in the situation? The only real estate that happens, I feel 7 points back in the West, because he's not going to take it on the way. Second, there we go. Scott looking at it. Oh, he's attacked. Oh, he's attacked. And look at it. Either we go on, you're going to win. Darrell Harris, the extended receiver, now go by design by Josh Drug to avoid any possibility of interception. Third down and 9. This is why the coaches make the big money. They got to make the decisions here.
Darrell Harris almost turned in. Yet another great catch, and it's hard to keep track of how many of those we've seen today. 3:45 remaining. Third and 7. They got to go to the 25 to keep the ball. Stock in trouble. Ball was deflected as he let it go, and it drops harmlessly incomplete. And look at that. It looked like a Jet team meeting around the ball. About 6 green shirts and not a Dolphin anywhere in sight. Let's watch it from the end zone.
Good pressure by the New York Jets defensive line. With Kenny Neal now replacing Joe Klecko, they flush him enough, and he gets his hands up, Neal does, tips the ball exactly as the defensive lineman's going to do, and it's up for grabs, and they dodge a bullet.
Now with 3:39 left, the Jets will get the ball for the 3rd time in overtime.
In their best field position in this overtime period, too.
Sohn and Schroy are the deep men. They're standing near the Jet 40. Orris punts from deep in his own territory. A long, high spiral. Sohn goes back inside the 30-yard line. Trying to get outside. He won't get there. A 52-yard kick by Orris. The rookie comes through.
With the wind, very, very good time to nice tight spiral. We got a flag on the play. They may bring it back. If I were the New York Jets, after having played almost 4.5 quarters, I'd make Miami run down there again. I believe they're going to.
Nick Jorgensen is the referee, and since early in the game, we have had no audio contact with him.
Let's see if we can lip read a little bit here and determine exactly what the penalty was. Maybe an illegal formation. Not enough people on the line of scrimmage. That's rather common in punt situations. Let's see what he has to say. Illegal man downfield. Boy, that's a tough time for that to happen. This Miami Dolphin team, obviously very, very fatigued, now must run down there 40 yards again and cover the next punt. And that punt was 52 yards by Orris.
See if Orris has anything like that left in his leg now. Now Sohn and Schroy move up near the 45 of the Jets. 3:26 showing on the overtime clock. We have played nearly 4 hours of football at the Orange Bowl. Thus far, to no decision. Orris from his own end zone. Another good kick. Not quite as booming as the other. Oh. Sohn bobbles it. Ball loose. And I think Sohn recovered his own bobble. Oh, what a sigh of relief for Kurt Sohn, and another 52-yard punt for Orris, so he duplicated the last effort.
Well, let's give him a game ball. He's kicked in pressure situations in his overtime. He just took his eyes off the ball. That's all it was. There are 3 New York Jets down there to make sure that they get the ball back. First and 10, the New York Jets, 35-yard line, Miami Dolphins.
Kurt Sohn, the young man from Fordham, had his heart in his throat briefly. He would have worn some royal goat horns had they not
recovered. 35-yard line. New York Jets. It's stupid. First and 65. There's the tail in overtime. Each one can jump quite more. Todd fires. There's the completion. For the old mark of the tight end, who's been kind of a forgotten last since the first quarter. Only last time will touch that pass. He's on the receiving end of that. Now 27 to 37 for like 293 yards for Ruben Todd. And that was a great job by Barker. 83 of the total zone coverage by Miami. You see 3 on blitz, and linebackers are dropping. And Barker finds the catch, stops the zone. Try to have time to wait for him. And the first down. Clock running. 2:35 remaining. It's time to take this back. And get it to Bruce Harper. Harper jams up after a short game. And we go back to 2 yards about a touchdown.
222, 221, 220. The Jets 28, the Dolphins 28.
Now Kim Bokamper back in the ball game for Miami, obviously expecting a pass situation by the New York Jets. They want more pressure on the quarterback.
We were tied at 21 with about 4 minutes left. Scott hit Matt Moore, who made one of a series of great catches that he's pulled in today in the end zone, put the Dolphins up 28-21. Richard Todd, who now wants to come to the sideline and talk it over as the Jets take.
No, it's the 2-minute warning. We reached the 2-minute warning. Okay. Richard Todd, I started to say, came back, tied it in late regulation. A great catch by Bobby Jones, 2 minutes 28. Now we have 2 minutes left. Overtime, and we'll come right back.
And I would like to use an aspirin if possible. Aspirin? For the last 10 or 15 years, I've used aspirin.
That's interesting, because the number one selling brand of pain reliever doesn't contain. An aspirin.
What is it, brother?
It's Tylenol.
I never used Tylenol.
Today we'd like you to try extra strength Tylenol. You know, you can't buy a more potent pain reliever without a prescription.
I have to see what it does for me.
Well, look at the difference in the amount of medicine in the leading pain relievers.
Extra strength Tylenol has no pain relief. I have to try it. No pain, no pressure. It's super. It's great. You know it? I'm really ready. I'm ready to take on my worst day and do the best job that I possibly can. I'm impressed.
Try extra strength Tylenol. Capsules and tablets. Aspirin free. And you can't buy a more potent pain reliever without a prescription.
Extra strength Tylenol is a super product.
We've got 2 minutes to decide this issue, and looking at members of both teams, I don't think any of us could go much further than that.
And we'll be very little celebrating after this football game. Who wins? They're all going to take a nice long nap. Coming up on 72 minutes of football so far today in a very hot and muggy and humid situation in Miami. Temperature at game time, 87 degrees at 4 o'clock.
2nd and 7 from the Jet 48. Todd's pass juggled, but received by Wesley Walker. Walker close to the first down. I believe when he first touched the ball, he had run a route which would give him the first down, but as he juggled it, he had to come back toward the line of scrimmage, and he's about a yard short.
I have a feeling the New York Jets are going to do this down the field. Look at the room, and that room has been there from the first snap of the day until now with 1:54 left in the football game. The cornerbacks are playing very, very soft. Jets at 6 of 15 in third down conversions, and I think that play has been there all day long, and I would expect them to continue trying that.
Well, because of the length of this game, we've lost the Flintstones, and now I understand there will be no Here's Boomer. For those watching in the Eastern and Central time zones, you will, however, see it on the West Coast. Kevin Long gets the first down. The Jets keep the drive alive.
You know, I offer you this suggestion. I wonder if it'd be worth it if you're a head coach now for either, especially the Miami Dolphins, to put a fresh man in there. I don't care who he is or how much experience he has, but just put a fresh man in there. Bob Howard knows has played 4 and almost 5 quarters just to give a little drive back in the legs of the guy.
Kevin Long gets the call again. And the clock moves down toward 1:15 with each team having 2 timeouts left. And now if you're this man, Don Shula, although you never want to think in these terms, you've got to start thinking in terms of just trying to salvage the tie, because the other guys have the ball, and now we're inside a minute, and they're in your territory.
The Dolphins are 4-0. The Jets are 1-3. Let's air it out. Let's try to win a football game here.
Inside 50 seconds by the time they snap it. sideline. Ed Taylor, the Jet, they on a double.
All this excitement is that round down to a halt here. Over there, apparently both teams are more satisfied with the tie.
As broadcasters, we come in here hoping to see a football game. And certainly we see that. But we also have to see the Super Bowl. It will be kind of disappointing if this one comes away at the top.
And unfortunately, I think the people pointed to the overtime period. And this overtime period has not anywhere close to the war in the right.
The first 50 minutes were fine. Third down 5. They got closer to Leahy out of shot, and they got closer now. Number 1 for Metro gets the digital right here. And it's out of bounds with 36 seconds left. First down for New York.
This guy's been all over the field replacing Brady McNeely. He's done this special back, but he's carried the ball 12 times. That's now, I believe, his 7th or 8th reception on the day. They have used that guy up. He will deserve a day off when this game is over. Bruce Martin.
Coming into today's game, Pat Leahy had hit a 3 between 40 and 49 yards. That's just a 50 yard. He took the 6 down, 33 yards. They'll make it time today. If they got no further, it would be about a 47-yard field goal right now. Tom Newton carrying. And he doesn't get much further.
Timeout. Timeout, New York Jets. Yes.
Yes, with 24 seconds left.
Bob, I'm telling you, the quick out to the wide receivers is open and has been open all day. And you run a back up underneath that to take advantage of the linebacker going out wide. They can get 15 or 20 yards and be in great field goal position.
Will Leahy pull it out for the Jets, or will we go home with a tie? We'll find out when we come back.
Hope you made a special dessert for our little girl's Sweet 16.
I didn't make dessert. No dessert. Instead, I made some fun.
Watch it glimmer, see it shimmer, cool and fruity. Jello, brand gelatin of all desserts. You'll love the one that tastes so light and makes such fun. Make Jello, gelatin, and make some fun.
Mom, you made turning 16 fun.
Welcome to Bird's Eye Village. I'm Bert Bird's Eye. Our town's full of great cooks.
Bird's Eye.
It's the youngest.
My first meal. I love vegetables.
Keep it up. Blue ribbon combination.
Interesting. Corn, soybeans, and pasta girls.
Pretty proud of Dad tasted. And you've been practicing. Bird's Eye. Blue ribbon combination. If they Snoopy brought up, come to Bird's Eye.
The longest field goal of Pat Leahy's 8-year NFL career. With a 49-yarder, he also took a 47-yarder this season. Right now it would be about 47-yard field goal since that's 30.
With a wind in his face. I come back to the point where I believe that quick out is open. See if the Jets come back with a quick out. If they get 15 more yards, there's it.
Well, you just saw all the figures you could possibly want on Leahy's career. They keep it on the ground. Bruce Harper. Nothing. Nothing. 18 seconds.
We're going to let the clock run down. Call Leahy on the field with about 3 seconds to go. Make it a, what, 30, 37, 47-yard field goal. 6 seconds.
They're waiting to call their last time out, and they do with 3 seconds to go. Now, Leahy may hit this. He is certainly capable of doing it. But I'm with you, Trump. I got to figure that they should have thrown one little pass out to the sideline to get a bit closer. Well, we're going to let the suspense hang and break away for a commercial. We'll be right back.
Fresh. Clean. The fresh, clean flavor of Wrigley Spearmint Gum lasts a long, long, long time.
We're the Pepsi generation, having a doggone time. It's a day for watching. Spirits catch that Pepsi spirit. Drink it in, drink it in, drink it in. Catch that Pepsi spirit. Drink it in, drink it in, drink it in. At the dog wash, catch that Pepsi spirit. Drink it in.
Guy Bingham will snap it.
Don Shula is calling for a timeout. I don't know if he'll get it, but he's calling for a timeout. Comes down to this.
Pat Ryan will hold it. Guy Bingham will snap it. Leahy from 47 yards. It's off target, and the game ends in a tie. The Dolphins are still unbeaten. They are 4-0-1. The Jets are 1-3-1. We saw 60 minutes of post-quickening football in regulation, and then a scoreless 15 minutes in overtime. It goes into the books tied at 28. So in a sense, the Jets' string over the Dolphins has been snapped. They had beaten them 6 straight times. Now in 7 meetings, it's 6 victories and a tie. Don Shula walks off, and we'll come back to the Orange Bowl in Miami to wrap this thing up in just a minute.
Dinner! Beef and gravy!
Here is Pat Leahy's bid to end it from 47 yards out. Ryan the holder, and it's clearly wide to the right.
But long enough. You got to admire these guys that come out of these situations, play maybe 5 or 6 plays in a ball game, and he knew immediately it wasn't going to hook. And a tie score, 28-28.
What a day and night of football at the Orange Bowl in Miami. Let's check now with New York. And here's Bryant Gumbel.
Okay, Bob Costas, thank you very much.
Kickoff.